Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the playing of
the Sibling Rivalry Baseball Podcast.
And here's your host, Jana, and her big brother, Jeff. Welcome to the Sibling Rivalry Baseball Podcast. This is episode number 26, or if you are keeping score at home, our 125th overall episode. It's only taken us about a decade, I think, or 4 years, one or the other. Happy to be here talking baseball like always. Of course, you can always find us on social media. We are on Twitter at Sibling Rivalry BB without the A.
And on Instagram and Facebook at Sibling Rivalry BB with the A.
All right. Like I said, we've been talking playoffs, who's going, who's not. More teams earn their E's over this last week. As of the weekend, only 6 teams have actually punched their tickets. 3 of them actually won their divisions. 3 just secured playoff spots. We'll muddy up the waters a little bit more as we go. And I don't know if you saw this, but there is a new show coming on AMC that we're going to tell you a little bit later in the show. And we'll talk more about the playoffs when we get to Around Baseball. But first,
it's time for Dodger Baseball.
One of the teams that have, as we've mentioned a million times already, claimed their playoff spot, the Dodgers. And of course, normally we'd be talking Angels this week first, but why? So we'll do the Dodgers, and the reason we're going with the Dodgers first is because we have a special guest this week who is a Dodger fan. At least that's what he told us when he let us be on his show, Top Fan Rivalry. We got Bill Perkins from the host of TFR here with us today. How's it going?
It's going great, and you're absolutely right. It's hard because I got to stay neutral because we cover all 30 teams, but man, I tell you, 11 playoff appearances in a row, 10 division series. We're not having problems right now.
No, and surprisingly, you would have thought that after the
offseason, like
season,
I'm complaining like my diamond shoes don't fit. What's that?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So before we get too deep into taking a look at the Dodgers week and how they did, and how you see it and we see it of them, how all that works out as they move closer to the playoffs. Jana, what were you telling me about some of Bill's travels the other day?
Oh, I follow the Instagram account, and he's like you're everywhere. Like, you're in Kansas City, you were in Houston, which I loved because you had a Dodger cap on, which I think is awesome for the asterisks. And you just seem to be everywhere. So I was curious about your travels. And then also with Kauffman Stadium, I think you had mentioned that to us when we were on your show about that being a big deal for you this summer. So tell us about your travels. Because we didn't really get to travel, so we're living vicariously through you.
I went to Oakland.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Thank you.
You did.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we've had a lot of fun. So we did some watch parties this year. In the last month, this is going to sound overly cocky, I guess, but it's not. There were times when I was walking through airports and I'd ask my wife, okay, what state are we in and what time zone are we in? Because it seemed to be so quick. So in the last, 5 weeks, we've been to Philadelphia, Boston, Baltimore, Kansas City, Houston, Arlington, and then down to San Diego and up into LA and obviously Anaheim. So in the last 2 months, those are just checking the box off of those things. Oh, in Seattle, we went to a family funeral in Seattle, and we ended up going to a game. We got there ready to do all the hustle and bustle of the work, right? And we were told, hey, we're not needed until tomorrow, and we're like, okay, let's go. Seattle's at home. So it's been a lot of fun, a lot of good food. Kansas City was amazing. We tag team up with things. She's phenomenal, got a phenomenal page. It's going to make you hungry if you look at it. But we're there in Kansas City, and all I have to say to you, 3 words: lobster corn dog. Never thought it existed. Lobster corn dog. It's fantastic. They brought
I
them
wouldn't have
into
thought Kansas City for lobster anything, but okay.
Yeah, their barbecue is second to none, but lobster corn dog, and then they had a dessert pizza. Jana, they had a dessert pizza that instead of pizza sauce was like this cinnamon sauce with apples and with like whipped cream. Yeah, yes. You look at that thing and you're like, well, okay, yes, I'll take 2, please. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot
So
of fun.
you mentioned you're talking about food, and I think I also follow that account.
Same food girl. Yeah.
Yeah, Stadium Food Girl. Yep, lots of food. So when you were at the grill, or in Arlington, we like to affectionately call it the grill. Did you have one of those big, what do they call them? I just was talking about it the other day.
Yeah, you did. The hot dog.
The boomsticks. Thank you.
Yeah. Not only did I have one, I'll send you pictures after this. Not only did I have one, but the Chef Chris, he's phenomenal. He was working with Val from Stadium Food Girl, and Val had set it up, but we went back and watched him cook it. And then they gave us a boomstick, and they've got a 2-foot long hamburger patty as well. So I've got a picture with Stadium Food Girl, a gal named Juicebox Jackie, baseball sidekick, and myself holding up these boxes. And let me tell you, it was phenomenal. But there is no way, Jeff, I don't care how tough you think you are, there's no way you're going to do that on your own. Guaranteed. Not even when you were in college are you going to be able to do that on your own.
It's definitely a good challenge, though.
Challenge accepted, but you're going to fail. I guarantee it. I mean, it's huge in real life.
It looks like it feeds like a family of 6 is what it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. I mean,
it was incredible.
Yeah, that I have seen. Like I said, I've seen pictures. Now, back before the grill, Jeff and I had been to some games in Arlington, and so they have come a long way from the hot dog vendor.
Hot dogs.
That's exactly how he sounded. You could hear him he was in the outfield. You could hear him everywhere in the stadium. And now they have boomsticks in the grill.
And I don't know how the Texans did it. Oh, well, let me say this in Texas. I don't know how y'all did it. Okay. So before they had Globe Life, so Globe Life is right across the street from the ballpark at Arlington. Ballpark at Arlington still exists. I do not know how they played there in the summertime. When we were there, we got there before the gates opened. We stood outside for about a half hour, and my shirt was sticking to me. And so to play outside instead of indoors, God bless America for roofs over baseball, especially in places like Arlington, Texas. My word, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I was there at the ballpark in Arlington, and on a July night, and it's like 8:30 at night, and it's still 900 degrees outside, and but you could still hear
in the shade,
right?
Yeah,
you could still hear
in the shade.
You could still hear the hot dog guy.
Yeah.
Out in the outfield, and at that point, A-Rod was a Ranger. That's how long ago it's been since I was there.
Okay.
And you could even hear him burning off the steroids. It was right there. So,
chirp. I will tell you this though, if you haven't been to Kauffman, it's an experience. First of all, they're not tearing it down next year like I thought I had heard. They're still in the approval processes in Kansas City to move it in closer to town. But I'll tell you this right now. Go to 18th and Vine and go to the Negro League Museum. And then a block away from the Negro League Museum is the YMCA building still standing that has the mural of all the players. That's where they actually formed that league.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
The jersey that they gave us, in fact, the jersey that's behind me that they gave us, it said Top Fan Rivalry on it. Just a phenomenal, like you're standing in history. So make sure that you make that happen if you haven't made that happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because you said you were in Kansas City. I figure you would have had to stop by the museum. So awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing about your travels and everything. And what is your Instagram so they can go check all that out?
So the company Instagram is Top Fan Rivalry. I do have my own kind of personal one. It's bill.topfanrivalry, but it's Top Fan Rivalry. Go check it out. We're on Twitter. Doesn't exist anymore, Jeff. It's called X. We're on X like you guys are.
I am not buying into that. It's going to be Twitter forever. Elon Musk he needs to be X'd.
There you go. And we're also on Facebook and
so let's take a look at what happened last week with the Dodgers. They had a couple of series there. Let's what is it? There's some good tune-up series. There's nothing like to get the Tigers in to get you ready for a bye week. Is really what that series does for you.
Yeah.
Any details, Jana, you want to share about the Dodgers and the Tigers?
Well, most of these games, I mean, with the exception of, I think, let's see here, maybe I went too far. I'm scrolling, so I shouldn't scroll. Yeah, I mean, the last game they did lose, but they did win the series. And it really was the JD Martinez show for the most part. And I don't know if it was Miggy being there, and just the atmosphere and just the vibes. But yeah, I mean, we saw the rookies on the mound. They are looking stronger with each start. Still not sold on Gavin Stone, but we'll get there.
He'll be in the bullpen. If he makes the playoff roster, he'll be in the bullpen as a long reliever.
Yeah, still not sold on Gavin Stone.
Doesn't matter where he is.
Yeah.
But I mean, we don't have a choice, right? You don't really have a choice at this point. But no, I mean, Ryan Pepio looked good. Bobby Miller, even though they lost, had the 7 strikeouts, he's looking stronger, looking more comfortable. And even Lance Lynn, I think, he's had those bad outings, still gave up home run. And I might, in that first game. And I guess we're kind of used to it. So we're like, oh, it's only one, home run. So.
Yeah, versus 3 or 4 or back
right.
to back.
You didn't say Lance's full name.
What was that?
You didn't say Lance's full name.
Lance Lynn?
Lance Treadmill Lynn.
Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
I will put that in my notes.
If you look at him, isn't it his nickname Treadmill?
To be honest, I really don't know. I've never heard that before. This is like the first time I've ever heard it.
It seems like he's constantly moving but not going anywhere. So
yeah.
No, it's not so much that. It looks like he needs one.
Well,
when he's out there.
He needs Jenny Craig is what he needs, but I can't talk. I can't talk.
Stay away from the buffet line, Lance.
That's right. Where's everybody else went to a nice dinner? He's at Golden Corral.
Yeah.
They got the chocolate fountain there, man. Come on.
He does kind of seem like a Golden Corral type guy. I don't know. I mean, he's doing it on the mound.
How many innings he's eating up though.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. He is an innings eater. And he wants to. I mean, he's doing so much better, obviously, than he was in Chicago. And he's got to be he's part of the playoff picture. He has to be. So I think that I feel like when I watch him, he really is determined to make sure that he isn't giving up those home runs. He is going deeper into the game. And he made, we're not to that series, but in San Francisco, he made this, kind of this catch that was awesome in the last game. So it's kind of a fluke in a way. But so that series with the Tigers, I mean, it was a good tune-up, as you mentioned.
They just keep playing, keep everybody going. Now the question is, obviously, that we've all wondered is about the pitching. Who's going to be there? Clayton Kershaw. We're going to talk about the Giants here in a second, but Kersh pitches in that series and looks pretty good. But the question that I think a lot of people have is, and what's our opinions on this? We can go around the room. Is he pitching? Are they limiting him because they just want to make sure he's ready, give him some work, and keep him fresh without putting him in jeopardy of re-injuring something? Or is there more to this picture that the Dodgers are not letting on, that with his shoulder, his back, his everything?
So the Dodgers training staff and the Dodgers front office, when it comes to injuries, are about as honest as the United States Congress. Okay, so you can believe what comes out of their office about as good as you can look at the Congress and say, I'm here to serve you.
Gotcha.
And so I really think, I really think the answer to your question is both. Really, they're trying to preserve him. Jana, you may have caught this, but the Dodgers announced last week that they are going to start having their pitchers throw between 3 and 5 innings per start. Their starting pitchers, to get them familiarized with how it's going to work in the playoffs. Because, and again, I've said this before on lives, it's real simple. If Lance Treadmill Lynn goes out there and he gives up 5 runs in the first inning on game 47 of 162, nobody cares. Because at that point, you're tuning stuff up, you're trying to figure out how you can come back from deficits. But if you lose game 1 out of the best of 5 and your starting pitcher goes out and gives up 5 runs in the second and you lose that game, guess what? You're down 2-0 with 3 games left to play. So it becomes really serious. So the Dodgers are going to spot their start to 5th inning in the playoffs. And that's just the new name of the game. I hate it, but that's the way it is.
No, you're right there. And that's what I expected, last year they did a lot of bullpen games. And then they tried to kind of stay away from it in the playoffs. It's like, well, that's what got you here. And that's the thing. I think that's the bigger question for them in the playoffs is how much will Andrew Friedman get in the way with his game planning and stop saying, well, we got a small sample size here. It's like, no, you still got a team that has done things consistently, regardless of who they're playing. Stop getting in the way. Don't change the plan now. Finish what you started. Let them play the way they've been playing all season. So we got the Giants. Giants come to town, and the Dodgers still have to deal with them at least one more time. But they didn't look too bad, especially in that first game with a 7-0 shutout of the Giants. The Giants, of course, have become their own worst enemy as they've gone along, right there in the thick of everything. And last time I looked, they were behind the Dregs, who we thought were completely eliminated and pretty much are. But still, they've fallen off to the side, almost like here. And the Diamondbacks don't seem to want it. Anything stand out for you, Jana, over this series with the Gents?
Again, JD Martinez, who just is unbelievable. And I like Emmett Sheehan. We saw him when he first pitched, he almost had the no hitter, he had it going. But he had 9 strikeouts in this first game. And so I feel like because we have so many rookie pitchers that these, even though, he pitched 4 2/3 innings, but with the 9 strikeouts, it gives you more confidence when you go out on the mound. And then when you are, especially going into the playoffs. And it seems like, they're being handled, I'd say with kid gloves, but there's a purpose, for it. So hopefully in the past, they don't switch things up, like they have done in the postseason before. And they just keep this is our plan. This is what's worked for us. We're going to keep it going. But I like to see these young pitchers where they have outings like this, because I think it just helps them that much more. To get ready for postseason, but to feel comfortable. And when you're playing the Giants, it's always a, fun atmosphere and can be almost like a playoff atmosphere just because of the rivalry that exists.
Agreed.
All right. Anything stand out?
Padres.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything
ahead.
stand out in the loss in game 2 that makes you concerned about the Dodgers in the playoffs?
Gavin Stone.
Okay.
And I am somewhat concerned. I'm a little concerned about Ryan Yarbrough because but if he's going to work out kinks now, because he didn't have a great outing in this particular game, they did get 10 between Gavin Stone and Yarbrough. They did get the 10 Ks, which is super important because all of you in the Southland get jumbo jacks. So that's exciting. But if he's going to work out his kinks, let him work it out now so that when he goes into the playoffs, he's going to have his good stuff, which we know he has because we've seen it. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, it's nice to see James Outman. I know, I've kind of where he's been slumping, but defensively, I know a lot of people were, when Cody Bellinger, they didn't bring Cody Bellinger back. It's like, oh no, what are we going to do in the outfield? But we don't need Cody. We have James Outman because defensively he's awesome. And then, and when he's at the plate, when he's hitting them out. So, and then of course, Freddie Freeman, what more can we say about Freddie?
I don't know what else we could say about him. In my mind, he is, I know everybody's looking at Betts and Acuna with good reason. I think he's kind of would be then the unsung hero, even though he's kind of sung. But I have to admit, as always, he's become one of my favorite players. I like that workman type attitude that he has. He just goes out, he plays ball, doesn't let anything else get in the way. He's not trying to attract attention or be over the top. Same way he was in Atlanta. Let Acuna be the guy who's showy. He just shows up, does his thing, punches his clock, and moves on. What do you think so far about where we're standing as far as last week's going into the final week here, Bill? What is your view here for the Dodgers to get ready? And what do you think some of their what do you think their roster is going to look like? I mean, I think with position players we kind of know, but the pitching staff, if it's up to you, who are you keeping around?
Well, first of all, I can guarantee you that the Angels are going to play in October this year, just like I did from day one, right? Because their last game of their season is October 1st, so I can guarantee that the Angels make it to October this season. That being said, who do I keep? Who do I dub? I get asked this question a lot, and it's almost like would you rather game that we played growing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
You rather walk out over hot coals barefooted or like be chased by rattlesnake or something? I don't know. Stone is a question mark. I think your only starting pitchers that you really have, starting pitchers, are going to be Bobby Miller, Lance Lynn, and maybe Clayton Kershaw. Maybe Clayton Kershaw. He may end up being a long reliever. As far as bullpen's concerned, we don't have a bona fide closer. What the Dodgers are going to have to do is two things to advance in the playoffs. So if you look at the playoff brackets, Milwaukee against Chicago. If Chicago gets past that, they play the Dodgers. Welcome back, Cody Bellinger, right? In order for the Dodgers to advance, they're going to have to score early, score very, very early, and they're going to have shutdown innings, period. Score, shut the opponent down the next inning. And you've got to go into the ninth up 3 or 4 because Evan Phillips is great, but what's he going to be like when it's game 5 of an elimination game and the Dodgers are up by 1, right? And 2, 3, and 4 are coming up. I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. So, yeah, it'll be interesting.
So how do you see the Dodgers doing overall? I mean, just off the top of your head, without getting too deep into matchups and that. I mean, we know that
if
the
they
offense
hit the ball,
does well, but what do you think?
If they hit the ball, championship series for sure, maybe the World Series. If they play too timid in the playoffs, and again, it's a whole different thing when you're playing best out of 162 versus best out of 5, right?
Right.
And it's a whole different thing. If you go 0 for 4 in a best of 5 series, and then you go into game 2 and you get 1 hit out of 5 at bats and you're 1 for 9, that gets to you mentally. If you start that in October, who cares? You got another 160 games left to play. So it just depends. I'm more concerned about the pitching and pitching to contact, not trying to do stupid things. But the other thing the Dodgers really struggle with is every player, including Mookie, is trying to hit the 5-run home run at every at-bat. Somebody shifts on you, lay a bunt down the third base line. And you got to start. I mean, Jenna, isn't it embarrassing? We've got some wheels on our team. Isn't it embarrassing that Freddie Freeman is our base stealer? What about Mookie Betts? What about James Outman? What about Chris Taylor?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, Trey Turner was lights out last season, right? But he wasn't stealing. And this season he goes to Philadelphia and he has 3 times as many stolen bases. The team that's going to win it has to play a little ball. So we'll see.
Oh, yeah. No, little ball has always been a big thing. If there's one thing for both of you, one thing that you wish the Dodgers had done this season at any point in the season, whether it be a move they would have made, and let's just say regular season, not preseason, can be something from a trade deadline, could be something you wish they would have done. What's one thing that you wish the Dodgers would have done that you believe would have made their trip to a possible World Series championship a better odds of that happening had they done that one thing?
Is that my question?
It's to both of you,
it's
but
to
you
both
can
of us,
start.
but-
You're our
Yes.
guest, so we let you go
Okay.
first.
All right.
And I just need to think
Jenna,
about it.
And don't
I'm
worry,
gonna
this
steal
isn't
your
like
thunder.
around the horn or whatever, where if I don't like your answer, I'll just mute you.
Okay, so Jenna, I'm going to steal your thunder for a second. I wish when the Dodgers had at the trade deadline had signed somebody, they would have immediately put him at third base and said, stay, and then move. I guess that Max is not awesome at third base, but he's getting the job done. Kiki Hernandez can play third base. Put him over at third base. Trade for somebody else. I don't care what you do. The second thing is I wish Dodger fans would be a little bit more merciful and Dodger players would stop listening, because I talked about this on the morning show this morning. Do you realize that on July 1st, the Dodgers were 3 games out of first place? Do you realize that at the All-Star break, they were tied for first? And now, as of this morning, they were 14.5 up on the Diamondbacks. So you have a 17.5 game rollover over 2.5 months of the season. That's why you play the game as long as you do. But out here in LA, Jeff, everybody's fire Dave Roberts. He's terrible. Fire Dave Roberts. He's terrible. Do you know there's only 3 other managers than Dave Roberts? I mean, it's phenomenal. He's phenomenal. So those are the 2 things, I guess. I want a third baseman. I love Max. I want Max in the lineup every day, but I want a third baseman. And then I want everybody to get off the fire Dave Roberts train. So
I agree. I agree with that. I in the past, I've been there with the Dave Roberts thing years ago. As I've watched it, and as time goes and you understand more about, the curtain's been pulled back more about how the front office and their influence on things and then put it together. I think Dave Roberts has been doing a pretty good job, and he's gotten better. He's learned from some of his mistakes over the years. And I'm with you there. And honestly, we talked about it. I would have liked to seen, the big name third baseman that they thought that they might be going after. I would have had no problem seeing Arenado down there in Dodger blue. But yeah, no, absolutely, the money part of it. But I wouldn't have had an issue with that. I would have. But yeah, I'm with you. I thought that we needed a better third baseman than as much as I love Max.
Nolan's a SoCal boy. He went to high school right down the street from where I'm sitting right now. Mm-hmm. Everybody wanted him. Everybody talked about wanting him, and they wanted Lucas Giolito. out here. Everybody's talking about Lucas Giolito and Nolan Arenado. Nolan Arenado's got 3 or 4 years left on his contract. It's $20+ million. At the time, and I hate to actually, I'm not even going to say it this way. I'm going to say it this way. At the time, the Dodgers, if they signed and took over that contract, they would have Nolan Arenado that you're playing $20+ million to, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. Then you're going to have to re-sign Will Smith after the 2025 or after the 24 season. You're going to have to, well, at the time, you're going to re-sign a pitcher that's going to remain nameless that will never pitch in Major League Baseball again. But you had to go after him, and he was going to demand some cash. So it just is too much money. Lucas Giolito, I never wanted him to begin with. And look at what happened. He come over to you guys, Jeff. He was like a Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer for you guys. So much so that you gave up fungo bats and batting practice balls to get rid of him. You sent him to Cleveland and said, here, not only will you go there, but we'll pay the rest of your baseball budget for the rest of the season. And here's 6 fungo bats to take this guy with you. So.
Yep. True enough.
Sorry, Jen, I'm stealing your thunder.
No, you're fine. And I did think about Lucas Giolito coming to the Dodgers, but only because I feel like the Dodgers pitching staff could have done something maybe with him. But I was glad that we didn't get him once, you saw he didn't have a great season, and then it just, it was amplified in Anaheim. I don't know with the Dodgers at this point. During the season, if there was something, it's always about the pitching staff, and especially this season. So, I guess maybe Tony Gonsolin letting him just, figuring out what was wrong with him before, and instead of keep sending him out there, and let him have his surgery early. I like the Catman, but maybe that. And then, I don't know. I always think like maybe Andrew Friedman does know what he's doing. We've seen, with Lance. Not that Lance Lynn has been phenomenal or anything like that, but it was a good pickup. But yeah, I think I always want to see bigger things. I'm not a huge Nolan Arenado fan, so right. I don't, I'm just like, I know. So I'm just like, but I get it because Max, I like Max, but, he's not always cutting it. And a lot of the times the errors in the game are Muncy errors.
He does have that issue. Yeah, I think you guys are right, or Jenna, you're right about Friedman, and I mentioned a little bit earlier, just not talking to Dave and say, hey, Doc, we need to change this up now that we're in the playoffs. It's like, no, you just keep playing like you've been playing, one game at a time. Don't worry about it. Just get out there, do your best. Don't, and the same things. Get out there, score, early. My favorite quote ever is from Greg Popovich, San Antonio Spurs head coach, when he was asked, what's it going to take for you to win tonight, Pop? And he said, score more points, and walked away.
That's it.
And that's all the Dodgers need to do every night. Score enough runs, and then make sure that the pitching doesn't completely fall apart, and they should be okay.
I think with the Dodgers too, this is a different team than we saw in the division series last year. It's like they didn't even care. It's like, okay. You could see there was no excitement in the dugout. It's a different dynamic for this team. You have guys, like Miguel Rojas is his first, first time on a team that has won a division. And he just, there's these different elements. And I think too, I didn't say anything about Dave Roberts. There are times where I think, why was that done? But then, you get to peek a little bit behind the curtain and know that there are things coming down from the front office. But I can't say enough about him as far as him being a leader and the players. They all know their role, And so it's not like, okay, you're going to be pinch hit for, but for the guy who just hit a home run, that happened. I think it was Colton Wong pinch hit for Freddie Freeman, I think, right? And then hit a home run. And I'm like, well, I guess. And I'm like, what? What is going on? And then he, does that. So I'm like, well, that's not why I'm a manager. And then the whole thing with Brusdar Graterol and with his mom being there, and it was 7 years, since they saw each other. And then you saw he was emotional coming off the mound, and who was there but, to hug him and give him that soul, that like, yeah, look, be proud of this. And I think he's just a big cheerleader. It was Dave Roberts. And I think he respects his players and they respect him. And that goes a long way, especially when you all have the same goal. So now, I'm very superstitious, though,
I know
when it comes to predictions.
Since you brought up Brusdar, I think the one thing that the Dodgers messed up on is not having his mom throw out the first pitch around the end of August and then see if they could pick her up on waivers.
Right.
So she could be on the playoff roster, because if you saw some of the other first pitches, Stephen A. Smith, some rap guy in Cleveland, I think it was, Kid Cudi, I think is his name, and you saw their pitches, she was throwing smoke and it was right down the middle.
I think even Knox Kelly, Joe Kelly's son, who's like, 7, had a great first pitch. So
I didn't see his.
Yeah.
All right. So the Dodgers have the Rockies, including a doubleheader up in Denver, and then they finish everything up in San Francisco with so 2 meaningless for them outings. Just a way to get some rest and get themselves ready, put people in the right spots to get ready for that first break of about 4 days from the end, 5 days from the end of the season. Until their first playoff game.
Well, and I'm going to say, I think the mindset is different. When we didn't mention the walk-off, the Zinnings on Sunday night's game with the Giants with CT3 with Chris Taylor and his walk-off, single, which is that's all they needed was just that single. But in the post-game interview afterwards, he said, we're going to have some time off. So I think we're going to have to play scrimmage games. And I was like, yes, this isn't just time off. We got to prepare.
I think last year that was a big factor in that they just had too much time off, complacency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And in the words of, just like you said there, in the words of Rex Hudler, the Wonder Dog, and something I quote often, all we needed was a lousy single. And it goes back to the small ball. You don't need to hit the 5-run home run, as you mentioned. You just need to get the base hit. That'll get that run. Let Freddie come up and hit, he's a doubles machine. He'll hit the double and bring you on home or whatever. But all right. So they got that. They're going to finish up there on the road. They played their last home game until the playoffs. All right. Going to put you on the spot here, Bill.
Okay. Yep.
World Series prediction and who wins it?
I was hoping this would come up. The way that the brackets sit right now, I'm going to say the National League Championship Series is going to be the Dodgers and the Phillies. I think the Dodgers can squeak out a win there. I think you're going to get a rematch Dodgers-Astros. And depending on if we verify whether there's trash cans there or not, will dictate whether or not the Dodgers can win that. But I think you've got a rematch of either Houston, LA or Houston, Philadelphia. Who wins it? It's going to be all up to pitching.
All right. So who do you want to go out there on the limb? And I think if it's Houston, LA, obviously Houston, as it stands, has the pitching. The tilts to them for pitching. But what do you think?
So I really, really, really want to say the Dodgers are going to win the World Series this year, and they look good, But the problem is they're playing with house money. And I said this to somebody the other day, and they didn't like it. But at the beginning of the season, in all reality, and Jana, you can back me up on this one. Beginning of the season, you're looking at the rosters. The National League Championship Series is the Padres and the Mets. At the beginning of the season, looking at the roster. Am I wrong?
No, I
No, you're
would
not.
agree. Yeah, we would both agree with you.
The Dodgers were supposed to be in second or maybe even third, with Arizona getting younger and faster and, things like that. So I think we're playing with house money here on this one. Don't know if they can. The team, it just all depends on how well they play on the offensive side. The pitching's going to do what the pitching's going to do. But if we're shooting for 5-run home runs every at bat, we're not even going to make it out of the divisional series. But if we can hit as a cohesive unit, we're going to be just fine. I will say this, though. The scary, dangerous team to pay attention to for the next 6 years probably is not the Dodgers. Do you know who scary, dangerous team is? Baltimore Orioles. Baltimore Orioles. Because they are doing exactly what the late 90s and early 2000 Yankees did.
Yeah, the only thing that's going to come back to bite them is ownership. If they get a little jumpy, we'll see some of those guys going. Hopefully, they end up someplace that we can root for them. That we want to root for them there.
And
Jana, who's my World Series picks at the beginning? We did right at the beginning of the season. We both picked our World Series picks, and half of mine is still okay.
Yeah, you had Baltimore, and you had the Pirates, right?
I had the Pirates for a matchup of two 70s, of 79 and what was it, 71 World Series.
Yeah. So, Janet, did you start singing to him when he said that? We are family. No.
Yes. Yeah, we do that every.
After he said the Pirates.
Right.
Okay, so here's I'm gonna make a bold prediction, Jeff, and you're not gonna like it. Okay, you ready? But Jana, just make sure I'm welcome back on your show, even though I make a bold prediction here.
Okay.
There are only 2 places that Shohei Ohtani will end up. There are only 2 teams, and I'm gonna back this up with this thought. 2 teams.
Okay.
1 is the Seattle Mariners. 2 is the Baltimore Orioles. And I'll tell you why on both of them. Because effectively, you're hiring a 30-year-old DH is what you're hiring. Okay? Because remember, he's 29 now. He's not going to pitch at all next season. Okay? So you're hiring a DH. The Yankees don't need a DH. They've got 2 of those. The Mets don't need a DH. They've got a few of those. Here's the reality of it. If I pay Shohei Ohtani $200 million over 5 years, let's say, or over 4 years, I pay him $50 million a year. If I'm the Yankees and Aaron Judge, and or Giancarlo Stanton gets hurt and they can't play the outfield, but during the rehab they can bat, who are you going to sit, Aaron Judge or Shohei Ohtani? You don't want that problem.
No.
Same, all these teams that are young, like the Mariners that have a shot to make the playoffs and they've got younger kids, Shohei Ohtani's a perfect fit. Baltimore, same thing, perfect fit. He's not going to go to Kansas City. He's not going to go to Pittsburgh. He's not going to go to one of those teams. He's going to go to a contender, but it has to be a team that's young. Now, I'm going to shut up now, Jeff, and I'm going to let you argue with me on that point.
I don't see Baltimore.
Okay.
But Seattle, I could see that he would be a fit up there and that they would be willing to pay for him and he would be willing to go. I'm under no delusion that he's going to stay with the Angels or even necessarily in Southern California. All the talk of him going to the Dodgers. I wouldn't put it past the Dodgers to go after him and maybe even sign him, but he makes more sense in Seattle. I'm just saying. People do when you have something like that, people do stupid things. Yeah. And just look at it. Artie I mean, he's in the right place for people doing stupid things.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think that he goes. There's talk about San Francisco. He's not going to San Diego. San Diego just announced they're dropping payroll to get down around 200 by next season. And but Seattle makes a lot of sense. I don't see Baltimore just because they're already worried about how much they're going to have to pay the young stars that they have. So I never really thought that the Mets or money wise or not, all these places come up because like that, the money and that. So before we go, it's been great having you here, Bill. We appreciate your time and your opinions. Since you brought up Baltimore, we found out today that one of my favorite all-time players and a guy that I wanted to be like when I played third base in Little League passed away today in Brooks Robinson.
Brooks Robinson, yes.
86 years old, of course, a Hall of Famer, inducted in 1983, played from 1955 until 1977. Pretty incredible. And, we talk about this and you'll hear it sometimes. It's like, oh, this guy's coming to the bigs. He's 22 years old and wow, that's young. Brooks was 18 when he made his major league debut. The human vacuum cleaner, Mr. Hoover, and of course, Mr. Oriole. Any memories of watching Brooks play or anything that comes to mind when you think about Brooks Robinson?
Yes, but nothing that I want to say that we're recording. I will tell you when we're not recording. A very positive memory, but it was a memory that was relayed to me by a former Oriole, and I'll tell it to you offline. That way it doesn't accidentally sneak in.
Gotcha. Yeah, we wouldn't do that to you.
No.
No, I know that you wouldn't. But yes, no, Brooks Robinson. So if you're looking for, I will say this online. If you're looking for a guy who played the game right and trained people like Cal Ripken, who could still train people, even though they didn't play together, but Magic never played with Kobe, yet Magic was around enough to train Kobe how to play the game right. If you're looking for a guy that gave you everything he had plus 10%, that's that guy. So yeah, it's tough to see legends like that go. But we all are going to get our number called at some point, right?
Right.
So I hope I make it that long.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's I know eventually it goes. It's kind of sad though when you start watching and heroes of our youth start to kind of fade off. And every time that something happens especially with baseball players, I think about when I saw them play, so I remember watching like Hank Aaron when he passed. I remember too, but every April 15th I remember watching the home run on TV, and just something electric about those things. And Brooks Robinson, like I said, I played third base my second year of Little League, and he's who I wanted to be, was Brooks Robinson. And we got to see a fair amount of Orioles because we lived in Virginia at the time, and I watched a lot of Brooks Robinson. So
you mentioned Hank Aaron, so I'm going to give you something fun to think about.
Okay.
Are you ready for this? How many home runs did Hank Aaron hit as a Brave, as an Atlanta Brave? How many home runs did Hank Aaron hit as an Atlanta Brave?
That is a good question. As an Atlanta Brave, wow, I don't know. Without baseball reference and looking that up, I have no idea.
I miss a lot.
So he has 755 home runs, right?
Right.
And everybody thinks that he played for the Braves his entire career.
No.
So he played for the Milwaukee Braves and the Atlanta Braves. But then his last season of his career, he went back to Milwaukee to play for the Brewers.
Right.
And he hit 22 home runs with them. So the answer is 733. It's a trivia question I learned when I was at Truett Field earlier this year.
Nice.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I knew he finished with the Brewers, but you're right. A lot of people don't realize that since he's so connected to the Braves.
So yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
So there you go. That's a free trivia thing. Thanks for having me on. I give you full credit to use that whenever you want. I didn't even trademark it. Go ahead.
All right. Well, we appreciate that. Once again, it was great. Once again, Bill here is the host of the Top Fan Rivalry podcast. Check out at the website, topfanrivalry.com. And he gave you his Instagram earlier. What was that Instagram? It's at Top Fan Rivalry.
Yeah, it's at Top Fan Rivalry. If you want to follow me personally outside of the brand, it's bill.topfanrivalry. So all the stuff, we've got a marketing department that yells at me sometimes and says, you should be putting that on your own personal one and not on the brand. I'm like, okay, all right. So, it doesn't matter. I could be the CEO of the company. They're still going to yell at me, right? So it's pretty fun that way.
Yeah, we just yell at each other. Because
listen, you got to do what you got to do.
Just us.
Siblings, you're allowed to do that.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's what we do.
Yes.
Time for the silver linings segment. Honestly, not a whole lot of great things to talk about with the Angels. Can say this, Shohei's thing, we talked about it last week. He had his surgery. Don't know if he's going to be an Angel come next season. We do know that Mike Trout has said, as far as he's concerned, he'll be in an Angels uniform, or he plans to be. But when you say plan, that leaves open up a lot, I think. That, maybe I won't be.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think Mike Trout is one of those guys who he's never going to say anything that's controversial. And so I think, unless something goes sideways, he's not going to be traded. I can't see that happening.
But you're not going to really get anything for him, and you're going to have to probably pay a lot of his
salary
to get anything. You're not going to get the high end prospects that you want out of that.
Right. And so I think he will be an Angel.
But I also think that if they let him go, because he asked to be traded, it's not about them getting what they get in return. It's about respecting a guy who was there and finally realized you guys are going nowhere and I'm never going to see anything other than what I've seen here now.
Yeah. That would be, I think that's one thing all baseball fans, regardless of what team you root for, is everybody wants to see what could he do in the postseason. I mean, obviously he has to be healthy, and he has even said, and I think in an interview that he just recently had, even got kind of emotional to a certain extent about, his injuries, and it's not where he wants to be. We know he loves to play baseball. So for him to know, not to be where he wants to be and acknowledge that, that's tough. So I think he still wants to be, he wants to be an Angel in the postseason.
Yeah, I think so too. And that'll be the one thing. And he said, a lot of the problems have come from the fact that he's not been able to, he's been injured a lot. And that hasn't helped. And then when, of course, he was asked, what did he think about Shohei? He says, I'm going to talk to him and try to convince him to come back, but he's going to do what's best for him. And, it doesn't really matter what I say. I mean, I want to be a teammate, but Shohei's going to do what Shohei needs to do. He's got to do what's best for him.
Exactly.
And hopefully what's best for him is learning how to play golf on my upcoming golf course that I'm designing or we're building with Tiger Woods.
That's right. Yeah, to get
I think it was
that
something
plug
like
in.
That. And I expect that during Angels games here coming up pretty soon, they are going to be talking about this new show I just saw advertised.
Yeah, I want to hear about
AMC.
this.
So it seems like I don't know what the deal is. I never really got into The Walking Dead.
Yeah, me either.
But what I noticed is I thought that the show was over.
It should be.
And then I see they have, The Walking Dead, something else.
Right.
The Walking Dead, this. And the other day I was watching, I've been seeing all these Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon. And I'm like, we're just about one guy. This is the zombie's life. And then I found out what that was about. And now, apparently it's going to simulcast on AMC and Bally's. The latest, The Walking Dead, Anthony Rendon. And this time it's about the actual zombie, not a zombie killer, but an actual zombie.
An actual zombie and his life and what he does day to day.
Right. His
Exactly.
day-to-day, how he avoids talking to the press, lies about things, what baseball activities are for a zombie. How do other zombies communicate him when he no habla inglés?
They're all like, bleh, however zombies are like, bleh. He speaks zombie.
Even the zombies don't like him.
That's why he's alone.
That's right. They're like, man, he's not even a good zombie. Anyway, so
He needs to retire.
Coming to AMC and Bally Sports simulcasting Walking Dead, Anthony Rendon.
I would watch that.
That one I probably would. That would be all right. All right. So the Angels departed Anaheim for their final road trip of the season. 3 that they had to play the Tampa Bay Rays, and well, honestly, they won 1 of the 3, and the Rays had to work a little harder because Baltimore was winning, so they weren't just letting them off the hook. The Rays beat them in game 1 and 3. The Angels in our spotlight game, just because they won, took game number 2, 8-3. They started off fast. They scored 6 runs in the first 2 innings. Threw in 2 more for good measure in the 6th, and that was all they needed. You had a great game. Nolan Ryan Shanuel continued that on base streak. And then Zetto with a couple of hits. Oh, Brandon Drury. 2 home runs in that game.
5 RBIs.
Yep. And pretty much that was it. Michael Stefanik, who had been called up, has had a couple of games, a couple of hits in that, and has been playing pretty well. Nothing really happened too much from the Rays. 3 doubles, but they couldn't really put anything together, obviously, there. Reed Detmers only went 4 innings, but only gave up 1 run, struck out 7 in that game. And as they would go on to win that, and then, of course, lose the finale, although it wasn't through, a lack of effort. They just gave up 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th to lose it. They were up 4-3. And, Carlos Estevez just couldn't get it done. Joe Adell with a home run in that, going 2 for 3, and really his home run had put them up and put them in a position to win. But oh well. So they finish off in Tampa Bay and then head up to Minnesota, where they had to watch the Minnesota Twins celebrate clinching the AL Central.
Yeah, that was sad. Who was in the dugout that was just watching?
Oh, Hoppy.
Oh, Hoppy. That's right.
Logan Hoppy, who has been on fire.
And there's always one guy. It always seems like there's one guy. Everybody else leaves the dugout, and one guy just wants to soak it in. Like, this could be me. Like he has his vision board.
And
which
his
reminds
vision board
me,
is someday I'll be on the Twins and we'll be celebrating.
No, I just thought in this new show with Anthony Rendon, will Phil Nevin be a guest
star? Like on Love Boat, where they'd have Phil Nevin is a guest zombie.
Yeah, a guest. I mean,
So-
isn't he kind of a zombie now? But yeah.
Maybe. What the heck? O'Hoppe had a home run in that game, as well as Jared Walsh, who's been playing really well. Happy to be back. Is trying to make it the best of it all and to show them that he belongs there. O'Hoppe's had a great September, and I think somebody said that if he had been able to play all season and hit home runs at the rate he's been hitting them now, he would have been on pace for around 40 plus home runs on the season.
Wow.
But
yeah.
anyway, so the Twins go on. They win that one to clinch. The next day, the Angels squeak out a 1-0 win, thanks to a home run from
Joe Adele.
I know, crazy, isn't it?
It didn't hit him in the head and then come back up and hit him in the head.
Well, that would have been kind of interesting if he hit the home run because he hit it and the ball went up and then bounced off his helmet over the wall. And then, like, Joe can't hit it with his bat, but he can with his head.
Yeah.
Soccer teams would have been calling.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. I want to see that happen.
That would have been cool.
I think
Right.
that's a Savannah Banana
That
kind of
definitely
play.
They're one of their things. Kenny Rosenberg, the rookie, went in through 5 scoreless, struck out 5 over his 5. Jimmy Herget. Now, here's something that I feel bad about, is that when you get so mired in losing or in bad news, sometimes you focus more on that or all the stuff going, all the drama around Shohei, and of course Mike Trout and not being able to play. Jimmy Herget had his problems throughout the season, but over this last month, not giving up any runs. He's been pitching back to the form that we saw last year, and it would be nice for him to be able to carry that through, but it's nice to see him doing that. He's not going to do anything with it. His season's going to be over in a week.
Yeah.
But
he ends on a high note.
And that's cool. And it's nice to see him come back. And I wish I would have. He's been a silver lining this last month. It doesn't matter how great he's pitched or how great some of these guys have played. They still just can't seem to win. So
Universe is against them.
it is. What about me?
What about me?
See, I
It
set
isn't
you up.
fair. I have enough. Now I want my share. Can't you see? I want to live.
Got to change that. I
And
want to win.
I know, right? I want to win. What else? We got to work on that. We got to work on those
what do you mean,
lyrics.
we?
Well, you're more
I
lyrical.
work on all my own songs.
Yeah, your compilation of oblique.
Of oblique songs. Hey, I have that and the Wheel of IL keeps
You
on
do.
turning. I did take
That's
that
right.
one. He's on the IL now. That was
That
was a
That
classic.
was a
and
classic.
the oblique.
That was okay. Well, I'll work on that.
All right. Well, maybe we can work on that in the off season.
Yeah.
And we'll have it so next year when we're going through the exact same thing, we'll be able. The question is too, before we finish up what happened in Minnesota, is Phil Nevin. Well, you know what? I'll save it. Let's finish up in Minnesota.
Okay.
And we'll talk about what's coming up this week, and then. Dun, dun, dun. Angels, even though they out-hit the Twins in the last game by one hit, 11-10, they could only put 3 runs on the board, and they would lose that game 9-3. They were 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position, left 9 on base. Doubles by Joe Adele, Brandon Drury, Randall Grichuk, and Zetto. But like I said, couldn't get anything really going. Zach Neto even caught stealing in that game. So, oh well, what you gonna do? The Twins, what did they have to do? Well, I don't know. Hit 3 home runs. That always helps. Jorge Polanco, Max Kepler, and Ryan Jeffers, all with yard shots.
I have like songs in my head, and you're like, "What you gonna do?" And now I'm thinking of the Cops. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for
it's
you?
funny because I always remember that, but there's a guy named Buckwheat Zydeco, and he's got a song off of his "Where There's Smoke, There's Fire," and it's the name of the song is "What You Gonna Do When the Zydeco Turn It Up on You." So you got to watch out for that Zydeco. Anyway, the Twins are on their way to the playoffs. They will play in the wild card round because
they're in the Central. That's what you get.
Yeah, but the other Central team did finally secure their spot. But anyway, we'll talk about that when we get to around baseball.
We're talking about Angels.
Phil Nevin has one more week left on his contract.
Yeah.
The question is, and it's been getting tossed out there quite a bit lately, will Phil be brought back? Will he resign for another year or for a contract to continue to manage him? And then the other question is, what about Perry? And you could do the Heart song for that one instead of What About Love? What about Perry? Is he gonna be the GM next year? What about Perry? And then he should be singing, what about wins? How can I build a team to get to the World Series?
See,
anyway.
You're lyrical. Part of me is thinking that they will just cut ties. However, I kind of have a feeling that they might just sign him again.
One thing I think is for sure, if they let Perry go a year early, they're going to let Nevin go and let the new GM come in and decide.
Mm-hmm.
I think Phil can work with whoever they put in there because he's an implementer. He's shown that he doesn't manage things very well.
Right.
And the only thing that I've heard that was positive came from Mike Trout and a couple other players that said, well, he's a good manager. He's a good guy. He stands up for you. That doesn't make him a good manager. It just makes him a stand-up guy. He wants to be there for his players, but he's not helping them win anything.
Right. Yeah. Even with the Angels, even their challenge rate is bad.
I know. What was your challenge success was like 19%, and the league average is like 50% or just under. Isn't that
bad.
Crazy?
Yeah.
Well, and that's not even Phil.
No.
But whoever they've got back in the video room is what is it? Head in the up and lock position?
Yeah. So it's 19.2%, which is the worst rate in MLB. And as you said, the league average is 50%. It's 48.8, round up to 50. It's Ryan Dundee, who is the manager of MLB video. Why can't it sounds weird when I'm saying that.
I don't know.
No.
Why can't you say the words, man?
I don't know. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know.
Among 300 team seasons in the replay era, this places them 296th. So that's even bad. Like all the way around. And then
I don't even know, is below average even adequate?
No. I don't think it was
awful.
Awful. And then I saw something about the seats.
What is that in the Help? Remember the movie The Help?
Yeah.
And Minnie's talking about what she did with the pie?
Yes.
The terrible, awful.
Yeah.
That is what the Angels are when it comes to replay challenges. Terrible, awful.
The terrible, awful. And then I saw something just about the seats in Anaheim and how they have like this logo or something on them that was from somewhere else or something. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to send it to you, see if I can find it. I don't know if it was somebody that was just like, let's rag on the Angels, and so this is how cheap Artie is.
They had old logos from some stadium that was torn down like 25 years ago.
And they imported they went to
These seats used to be in Ebbets Field.
That's right. They went to the estate sale.
They were at the original Angels ballpark, Wrigley Field in downtown Los Angeles, and now they're here in Anaheim. Anyway, so the big question is going to be, will we, at the end of Sunday's games on October 1st, will that day or the next day, because I know that they have a little bit of a window to do those things before baseball kind of puts a moratorium on it, because they don't want firings and things to happen until after the World Series is over, as to not distract from.
Right.
But they're not really firing. They'll just say, we've chosen to not renew this contract.
Right. And then he can go to, I think, how about this? Make a trade. Bob Melvin to Anaheim. Phil to San Diego. I don't know.
Sure, why not? He was a San Diego. He played in San Diego. He is like the second or third on the all-time home run list.
Yeah, he belongs there. Yeah, he belongs there. That's his home.
You can go down there and deal with the big egos.
It's your home. Like, right. Go home.
Don't you want to go to your home? Maybe he goes down there and he's the bench coach to Bob Melvin, and we get Happy Gilmore in Anaheim.
Oh,
that might be better.
I think that would be better. I like that idea.
A hockey player, pro golfer, now a baseball manager.
Yes.
So Angels finish up their last week of worthless baseball with 3 against the Rangers, who just came off of a sweep of Seattle and are trying to maintain a lead so that they're going to get to the playoffs, as yet undetermined. And then finally, the truly last worthless innings, not only for the Angels, but the A's, as the A's come in.
These are the last worthless innings that
you have to play.
That you have to play. That's right.
Anyway.
Lyrical, I'm telling you.
You know what? It's like, and they're going to have, like, on Sunday is Fan Appreciation Day.
Yeah.
They should just let people in for free.
Right.
Maybe a win would be nice.
Yes.
They're probably going to get swept by the A's just to finish everything. Anyway, you want Fan Appreciation would be like, on that day, announce that you've extended Shohei.
Yeah, they would appreciate that.
And Mike Trout can't wait to come back and be an Angel next year. Anyway, so next week we'll put a wrap up on the Angel season. We'll be, right there. This is our last episode before the preseason or the postseason starts. I mean, and we'll talk about what happened last this final week next week as we head into the playoffs. Life is crazy when you drive around in a bullpen cart, especially when you're trying to see what's happening with the playoff. AL West, crazy. AL East, still undetermined. Only 3 divisions have actually been clinched, although 3 other teams, like I said at the beginning of the show, 3 teams have clinched division titles. 6 total teams are in the playoffs. We still have 6 more to go. But before we get to that, take a ride around baseball in our favorite SRBB bullpen cart, and let's first off ramp, looks like Players of the Week, MLB style.
In the American League, Aaron Judge is the Player of the Week. He hit .529, 1.854 OPS, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs in 5 games. And in the National League, no surprise here, I mentioned him in the Dodgers segment. It's all about JD Martinez. .458 batting average, a 1.708 OPS, 5 home runs, 12 RBIs in 7 games.
Yeah, he probably would have been your Player of the Week had we done that.
Yeah, of course.
So I read something interesting since you brought up Aaron Judge. The Yankees are eliminated from all playoff contention.
Right. Yes.
In fact, everybody in the East, with the exception of Toronto, Tampa Bay, and Baltimore. Toronto is eliminated from winning the East. Tampa Bay and Baltimore, it's going to come into this final weekend of play before we find anything out about that. Oh, what I thought was interesting, though, is the Yankees in 2007, A-Fraud was the MVP. 2008, they missed the playoff. 2009, they won the World Series. Fast forward, 2022, who was the MVP? Aaron Judge.
All right.
2023, what happened?
They missed the playoffs.
So,
making an early prediction for next season?
No. But
dun,
if you follow things like that, now if it had been like a couple other times that had happened, maybe, but just once, I don't think so. But that is interesting how that went. So maybe somebody to watch if they come out strong and they play well all next year. They got too many problems in New York. They got to sort out. They got
Well, and is Aaron Boone? How long is he going to be there?
Well, Aaron Boone, speaking of Aaron Judge, got Aaron Judge's seal of approval. But Judge, while he didn't come out and say like straight out, he was more critical of the front office and Brian Cashman.
Well, his name has also come up, and we saw in the Red Sox, they let Bloom go. So
right. And what's crazy is Kyle Bloom took a team that had a bad minor league system, turned that around, made the team better, got fired. Perry Minasian has done the exact opposite, and he may keep his job. And what I wonder is do they think that because he was under Alex, what's his name, Anthopoulos?
Right, in Atlanta.
And look at what a great job that guy's doing, that it would all have rubbed off on him?
Yeah.
I don't think he was paying attention.
He was in the clubhouse.
Yeah, he was like remembering, hold on, I'm going to get the guy some towels.
Yeah, this is what I used to do.
Yeah, this is,
what he should be doing.
Did you ever see, we always do this, I know, but did you ever see the movie Heartbreak Ridge with Clint Eastwood?
Yeah.
And at the end, when they're in in the war zone, whatever, they went to Grenada.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 83, so they go to Grenada, and the colonel or the general or whatever he was comes out there, and he's talking to the major who was over that particular platoon, and he says, "Where did you come from, Major?" He goes, "I was in supply, sir." He says, "Were you good at it?" He goes, "Yes, sir." He says, "Well, maybe you should go back to it." And I think whatever Perry was good at, it's not being a general manager.
Yeah, not
He's
at
just, all. No. So anyway, we need to get him out of there, and we could go on about that forever. Playoffs. The craziest races is last week. I think I said it's pretty much over. Houston's going to go ahead and sit there. They're not going to get up. They're not going to remove themselves. And boy, was I wrong.
Yeah. It's crazy.
They got swept by the Royals. They lost the series to the A's, the two worst teams in all of baseball. And it's like they've been their own worst enemy, but they have to go play Seattle. See, Seattle's got it rough. They just played Texas and got swept. Then they've got Houston. So Seattle, of any team that is in control of their own destiny, it is the Mariners. They have the teams that they have to beat. Yes, the Rangers have need to win, but they're playing the Angels this week. And then they'll go play the Mariners. So depending on what happens, by the time they get back up there, it may just be Houston and Texas that are left standing, because they'll eliminate. Mariners are going to self-eliminate the way they've been playing. And then Houston has, of course, Seattle, and then they got the D-backs. And the D-backs are also another team who don't seem to really want it.
Yeah, I mean, they had the big series, like I think it was, with the Cubs, and it was kind of back and forth, but then since then they've really just fallen off. And
Yeah, I don't understand, I get that they faded off. They weren't supposed to be the team that they started off as, but you gotta get, you're there. You're right there. And they're not, they got to play Houston. They've got to win those games. Of course, part of it too will be what, can either the Dregs or San Francisco do anything to cause that? Arizona this week has, we talked about that they're going to play Houston, but they also have the White Sox. So they're in Chicago. I know there's been weather problems there, so who knows what will happen there, but they got to play those games so that they can find their way in. That's going to be it's going to be tough for them, but if they can win it and win out, they're going to be all right. The Cubs are in Atlanta. Atlanta's not playing for anything, but that doesn't mean they have to roll over for Chicago. And the Cubs, they're going to have to work hard to get in there. Cincinnati hasn't been playing real well. Ellie De La Cruz has kind of cooled off in a big way. So it's just insanity. So right now, the wild card teams are Tampa, Toronto, and Houston. Seattle's a game and a half out of the wild card. Only Minnesota of the league, the division leaders, only Minnesota has actually clinched. Seattle is the last team standing as far as any challengers out there. Every other American League team is out.
Yeah.
And they have 5 games. That's their magic number to be eliminated, to get the E, to earn the E. Toronto's only a game up on Houston, and Houston is a game and a half up on Seattle. So still, with only 6 games to play over this week, or 7, depending, 6 or 7 games over this last week of the season. It's going to be tough. Milwaukee, who kept losing to the Marlins and helping the Marlins kind of hang in there, they finally clinched. And so all of the division leader winners in the National League are set. The Braves, who are now the team over 100 wins, Dodgers approaching and could hit the 100-win mark with at least 3 wins over this next week, which you would think could happen since they're playing the Rockies. And not so sure with the Giants, but if they don't, it doesn't matter. They've already secured their spot. And Milwaukee, like I said, they finally secured theirs. Philly has secured a playoff spot. So the last 2, Arizona's a game up on the Cubs, and the Cubs are a half a game up on Miami. Cincinnati's a game and a half back. And technically, San Francisco and San Diego are both in there. But, if during this week San Francisco beats San Diego's eliminated. Because I think their magic number is only 1 to earn the E. San Francisco's just about there. I don't anticipate either of them making it. And right now, I would say that Philly, Arizona, and the Cubs are your best bets for that. But
I concur.
Still anybody's race. So since we started the show, a couple teams have made their way in. Philadelphia. And then, of course, Milwaukee was in, but it just now, they just were able to finally win the division. Lots to, this last week is going to come right down to the wire for the West and probably for the East with them both. It works out works out good for Baltimore. If they play well, they're playing their rivals in the Washington Nationals right there, or their neighbors.
Yeah.
And but Tampa Bay's got to go play Boston. And even though Boston's eliminated, they're still got a team to contend with. So, can they put that all together and then and stay tough? And then it changes where Baltimore comes home to finish up or is at home to finish their season, and Boston comes in. Tampa Bay goes to Toronto.
Ooh.
So some games to watch there. So both the biggest division series, the only two that are not decided yet, are going to be crazy for this weekend, and they're playing teams that can challenge them more so for the Rays versus the Orioles, since they got to play the Nats. But the Nats can surprise you. It's not like they're just a pushover team. They may be a bad team overall, but I don't think they're a pushover. And Dave Martinez isn't the kind of manager to just roll over and go, whatever.
Yeah, let's the end of the season. That's all right.
We're just.
Let's see how many errors we can make in this.
Yeah,
game.
Right. One thing I didn't mention before we take a look at a couple other things here. Chase Silseth will be back to make his first start since getting hit in the head by his first baseman and going on concussion protocol.
Nice.
He's going to start versus the A's this week, or at least that's what the schedule is.
Yeah, good. Good to see him back on the. It will be good to see him back on the mound.
Yep, for sure. So and off of the wheel. Oh, yeah! And this is the final wheel.
It is final wheel. All right. We head out to Atlanta. Charlie Morton is on the 15-day IL with right index finger inflammation. And Max Fried also on the 15-day IL with a blister on left index finger.
Maybe get a blister on your little finger. Maybe get a blister on your thumb. I got a big, cool mustache. Throwing strikeouts. Oh, no, I'm on the injured list. My name is Strider. I'm sorry.
If he was on the injured list, but that's Max Fried. So.
That's right. He's not on the IL.
I
That's
know,
Max.
but that would be good.
Again.
Like keep that in your back pocket.
I will. I'll put that back there.
But I read a lot of comments like, it's just a blister, not a big deal. And maybe it won't be, but we know about blisters. Rich Hill, when he was with the Dodgers, that always kept him out for long periods of time.
Got him from the A's in a trade, and he missed like a month.
Yeah.
And he wasn't on the IL. He was day-to-day with a blister.
With a blister.
That must have been like an industrial size blister.
Yeah. So we'll see. But so that one, and then Ryan Mountcastle is on the 10-day IL with.
Got you in the microwave. Oh, sorry.
With a shoulder injury, and then heading to Chicago, you have a Heimer Candelario. Of the Cubs is in the 10-day IL with back soreness, but then Nick Madrigal, Madrigal.
It's Madrigal.
I should know that.
It's almost like magical. Just
right.
Madrigal.
But I should know that because we have a town that's spelled like, it's pronounced Madrid. I mean, it's pronounced Madrid, but most people say they think it's Madrid. But this would be Madrigal.
That used to be Mexico used to be ruled by the Spanish. The Spanish have a city named Madrid, not Madrid.
Right.
Of course, we used to live someplace where the Spanish have a city named Cadiz, but in Kentucky, it's Cadiz.
That's right. Anyway, he's on the 10-day IL with
This
hamstring
has
injury.
been your geography lesson.
That's right. Luis Robert Jr. is on the 10-day IL with mid-left ACL sprain.
So is he done then for the season?
Yeah. Matt McClain of the Reds is also on the 10-day IL. He has an aggravated right oblique, and he is shut down for the season. And Harrison Bader also on the 10-day IL with a groin injury, also out for the season. Patrick Sandoval, right oblique tightness.
Oh, bleak. Oh, I thought about when with Shohei Ohtani's oblique that I could have done a whole Ohtani oblique.
Yes, you could have.
But I never quite got it to come together. And at that point, I was kind of like,
Yeah.
But
okay.
Anyway.
He's on the 15-day IL. CJ Crone is on the 10-day IL with his back injury. Tyler Anderson is out for the season. And it just says on the IL list, it says on the IL list out. It doesn't say why.
He had a knee problem.
That's what I thought, but I just thought it was funny. He's out.
He's just out. Yeah, he's done.
Aaron Loop, left shoulder strain. And then, of course, we found out, which we have been talking about last week, the week before that, and several weeks now. Phil Nevin, I guess, always the eternal optimist. Oh, yeah, Rendon, he'll be back. We hope to have him back for to play the last few games of the season. They finally announced he is out for the season. Duh.
Right. And Mike Trout is.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's like, seriously? Okay.
I think we already knew that. We'd already come to that conclusion. There was no reason. I think that had the Angels been paying attention to us, Shohei would have had his surgery about 2 or 3 weeks earlier.
Yes.
Mike Trout would have never come off the IL in the first place back in August and might be playing now.
Right.
And Anthony Rendon would have been DFA'd.
Exactly. That's exactly right. You need to listen to us.
But if they DFA'd him, I don't know that he would have got this new series.
Right.
Although Walking Dead DFA'd, that could be a whole different series where all the players that get DFA'd could all just be out wandering around, going from team to team, hoping they get picked up. The Walking Dead.
Going to the stadium and they're rattling the gates. Okay. Okay. Luis Ariz is listed as day-to-day with ankle issues. Sandy Alcantara is out for the year. Looks like I also heard that he may be having surgery. So we'll see. Yeah. So
he had some problems earlier in the year. I remember that. And and I wonder too, because he had a problem. He wasn't the guy that he's been in the past. And yet he still had more complete games than anybody, I think, without looking it up. It just, come on.
I mean, he had a UCL sprain in his right elbow. He said this past weekend that his season's over. He doesn't know if he's going to require surgery or not, but it's possible.
So even on a down year, he had 3 complete games.
Yeah.
However, he tied for complete games with a guy that I'm not even paying attention to because he plays for the Royals. I did see him pitch. Jordan Lyles had 3 complete games.
Yeah.
And, something interesting, the Rangers, remember they traded for Aroldis Chapman?
Uh-huh.
You remember who he was traded for?
I don't remember.
Who was the either player of the week or the pitcher of the month or something for August?
I'd have to go back.
Was
into
it
the
Cole
archives.
Ragans?
I think so.
I don't remember if he was the player of the month or the pitcher of the month or a player of the week. I think he was pitcher of the month. They traded Cole Ragans for Aroldis Chapman. And look at do you think that they want that trade back?
Probably. He was the pitcher of the month. Yeah.
I'm sure they
Or
want that.
August.
They
Oh
want
yeah,
that.
no, I'm sure
They
they
want
do.
that trade back
Yeah.
because they could use him, especially going in the playoffs. Anyway, Sandy Alcantara was had 3, even in a bad. I mean, if I look up his his overall stats, he's Mike Clevenger had 2 complete games. How crazy is that?
That's crazy. Royce Lewis of the Twins is on the 10-day IL with a hamstring injury. And then Yandy Diaz is day-to-day with a hamstring injury or soreness. Randy Arozarena is also listed as day-to-day with a quadriceps strain or soreness. And then Brandon Lowe is on the 10-day IL, but I'm pretty sure done for the season, has a fractured kneecap.
Probably. So
yeah.
that'll be interesting to see too for a couple of teams here. The Braves.
Mm-hmm.
2 of their main starters are out right now. We don't know when they'll be back. Will they be able to pitch? Now they're lucky they've got that bye, but their whole staff since the All-Star break, Spencer Strider doesn't look like Cy Young anymore, and his ERA's gone up to over 4. Strikeouts down a little bit. I wonder if that's gonna, is that part of why they've been losing the way they've been losing lately?
Yeah.
I mean, they were getting beat by double digits. Miami cleaned their clocks completely.
Yeah.
And I know, once again, Miami's playing for something the Braves aren't, but the Braves and the Dodgers and teams like that aren't teams to just let you win because they don't want, they're just taking it easy.
Right. Yeah.
It's not like when you're a little kid and you're playing a game with your dad and he lets you win.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how that works.
Yeah. Because our dad never did that.
No, you're going to lose. You're going to understand what losing's all about. And if you want to win, you'll work harder.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you beat him, he won't ever play with you again.
That's right. He was a sore loser.
That was it. I remember that we were playing 1-on-1 and I wiped the floor with him and that was the end of it.
That's it.
Never played that. He played ping pong. He always beat me in ping pong though. I don't know why. I thought I was pretty good, but he was better.
Yeah. And then one last one, John Gray, also listed as day-to-day with wrist tightness. So the last time he did pitch, I think, up 6 innings, but did leave the game with wrist tightness. So we'll keep an eye on those because those are all guys, Royce Lewis, Yandy Diaz, Randy Arozarena, John Gray, that are also, their teams are in the hunt. So, and Royce Lewis, of course, their team clinched. So the Twins.
All right. So any final thoughts from today's show? Can't say anything bad about Bill because he's not here to defend himself. But
right. Let's just.
Oh yeah, you know what? He's
pile
not
it
here.
on.
We can talk bad about him now. Right?
That's right. No, yeah, really good guy. Cool thing, they bring in the fans together, and
we had a good time when we were on his show. Hopefully, you had a chance to go listen to that when it came out. That was more towards the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
we did that.
We did that, but yeah, I mean, he did mention. I will just go back, with the Dodgers. He mentioned he felt like the Dodgers were, always looking to hit a home run. And I think, yeah, there are situations where you do see kind of the big hacks, but a good example, and it's one of those things where it's like, I should have said this when he was here. So you could, we could discuss, but,
discuss.
That's right.
Discuss amongst yourselves.
But I think a good example is Chris Taylor in that Zinnies game on Sunday. The first swing was a swing for the fences swing,
Mm-hmm.
But
it really was.
It really was.
I'm like 8 miles from Dodger Stadium. I felt the breeze.
Yes. But then he reset. I think he maybe choked up a little bit on the bat, ended up hitting a single, and they won the game. And I don't always, I mean, I think a lot of teams do that. I think it's a lot of players' mindsets, but I will say, I think that in especially the last two series with the Tigers and the Giants, I saw more of it where it was more get a hit to move the guy to the next base, even if it's a sac fly, move up the runner, doing those type of things, those fundamental things. So I hope that continues as they go into the postseason. I do want to mention that the postseason, we know wild card, we will be, when we come back next week, wild card should be started.
It starts on the 3rd.
Yeah.
And isn't that when's our next episode is out on the 5th?
Yeah. So that will
be 2 days into the wild card.
Yeah. So wild card, and that's the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. There's no days off. And then
no travel days, nothing.
Right. And then the openers of all 4 American League, National League Division Series are scheduled to begin on Saturday, October 7th. So that's going to be a great day of baseball. So the Division Series is slated to be between the 7th of October through October 14th, with potential, game 5s if needed on Friday the 13th for the American League and Saturday, October 14th for the National League. And you'll be able to catch those, of course, on Fox, and TBS will have all NLDS games, just so you know where you can catch them.
On October 13th of 2002, you know what happened?
Of 2002? Oh, yeah, the Angels won the World Series.
No, they clinched.
They
clinched their very first American League title.
Yes, to win the World Series.
Yeah,
yes.
I was on a boat
it's like
Catalina.
They
had the game on the boat, and we were watching it.
Awesome. Nice. And then the American League Championship Series will begin on October 15th, and then the National League Championship Series will be on October 16th. And with the Game 1 of the World Series scheduled for Friday, October 27th. So baseball, October is baseball. Not pumpkin spice.
And apparently November.
And November.
But they could go together. You could have pumpkin spice whatever. Or I saw they keep showing this commercial about Ultimate Fall or something like that. I don't know what it's a DQ commercial. And they show it over and over during the Angel games. And they've got these fall blizzards. And one of them is a pumpkin pie blizzard.
Oh, yeah. So you can
pie blizzard
while watching the games.
Pumpkin spice hot dog. I don't know.
Hot dog. Yeah, 119th Fall Classic coming your way this season, and we will be here for it. It's gonna be a good one. And yeah, postseason baseball, so much better than football, especially if you're a Broncos fan. Come on, you got to watch baseball.
Especially if you're quite a few teams out there.
Right.
Fan. Bronco. It was Miami that beat them, right? Put 70 up on them.
70-20.
I just talked to a guy who's a Miami fan. He said, I couldn't even watch that, and I love the Dolphins. He said, but it was just embarrassing. He's like, they weren't even trying to score, and they were scoring.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of sad, but to see it, because I really like Russell Wilson, and he just,
two things are happening in Denver, and I know this is a baseball podcast, but the quarterback forgot how to quarterback, and the head coach forgot how to head coach, and this is a guy who won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. So, but so watch baseball, because it's way more interesting, way more fun.
Postseason baseball is terrific. To steal a line from Tony the Tiger.
That's right.
Time to put the tarp on the field, just like saw a couple of times over the last couple games. The Twins, they had to put the tarp out in the last game of the Angels Twin series, or one of the two games there. And we've seen that some games get postponed recently. And we know how good Cleveland is in it. So we'll put the tarp on the field, and we'll get ready for the final week of baseball to talk about that with you next week. A programming note: if you really, 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 really can't live without Jana, then next week don't listen, I guess.
Well, maybe.
Oh, you're making these announcements now on the air?
On air.
Well,
wow. I just thought of it when you mentioned that. So I might be joining you.
So a surprise.
It might be. Yes, it will be a surprise.
It might be just me, or it might be us both.
Yes.
You won't know if you don't tune in next week to the Sibling Rivalry Baseball Podcast. You can find us online. What's our Facebook and Instagram?
At Sibling Rivalry BB with the A.
Without the A, you can find us on Twitter, Sibling Rivalry BB. Like I said, without the A. And our website, siblingrivalrybb.com. Make sure you check in on the Fanatics link. More teams are making their way into the playoffs. You'll be able to get some playoff gear. And even if you don't get the playoff gear, grab some other stuff so you can root on your favorite team.
I just thought of another song. Making your way into the playoffs. I don't remember. The Dukes of Hazzard theme song.
You know what I was thinking? Cheers.
Oh,
Making
yeah.
your way to the playoffs today takes everything you got.
Telling you, lyrical. You got the gift.
What is that? Hot stepper. What's his name? Any Kamikaze or something like that?
Right. Yeah.
The lyrical genius. I'm the lyrical genius. Excuse me, Mr. Officer. I don't know. I can't remember it.
All right. We got
All I know is that groove is in the heart, and that's a completely different band altogether.
And the tarp's on the field, so we got to go.
The tarp's on the field. We'll see you next week, or one of us or both of us will see you next week. In the meantime, check out some live baseball, and don't forget to swing away.
Now, Jeff, the word playoffs is not something used close to Anaheim that often. So that, just to help you out, that is what happens after the regular season is over. I know you don't understand this, but that's what happens after. Jenny, you can explain it to him later, right?
I will. I definitely will.
I wondered what happened after that, because all of a sudden, all that was on my TV was football. I'm not real sure what. Why?
Oh, too funny, huh?